Hey folks, welcome to our first all-new episode of 2025. We do not have a video version this week, but we do have an ad-free version of it available over on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/late-night. Sign up at any tier to get the ad-free version of this, video episodes most weeks, and also, if you sign up at the $5 a month or more tier, you're going to get a free mini, I don't know why I said free after saying you have to pay for it, but a mini episode every week as well. Sometimes we just talk, sometimes we solve puzzles. They're very fun, and they're, as if this is even possible, even looser than the normal episodes here. All right, Happy New Year, everybody, and enjoy this very fun and wide-ranging new episode of Late Night. All right, it's 2025.
It is 2025. Are we
Let's
about to do the first clap sync of 2025?
We are. I guess we're, you know what, I started the recording, but you know what? Behind the curtain. Let's do it. People can hear this time. Wow.
This is extremely useful.
I think it's a first.
Clap sync, yeah.
Public clap sync. Normally, I don't like to do this kind of behavior in public, but...
You don't like to clap those cheeks in public?
Well, not unless I'm getting paid.
Which we're not. So let's do this.
We are a little.
Modestly.
All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, clap.
Wow. A peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Now you see how the sausage is made.
What kind of sausage is late night?
Oh, well, there's so many good kinds of sausage.
Indeed.
So it can't be one of them. I think
the sausage made of the worst, awful, the most awful.
Yeah, it's a haggis, maybe a veggie haggis. Although I do like veggie haggis, actually.
It's certainly encased in intestine.
Well, not a veggie haggis. A veggie haggis is all vegetarian, right?
Well, that sounds like it's not actually haggis then.
Well, it's not, but it is. It has the seasoning of a haggis. And
look at us haggling over haggis.
Yeah. I like haggis. I'll say, I wouldn't eat it every day, but it's not. It's one of those things I think people get all weird about because it has been made into a thing that you're supposed to be weird about. But then when you try it, it's just like a perfectly normal thing. And if nobody was like, "Oh, it's a sheep's stomach or whatever," with stuff inside
it sounds
of it.
pretty good. Like I've eaten head cheese, which was really not much to write home about.
Sure, I'll eat anything. I don't.
Would you eat the maggot cheese?
Remind me what it is.
It's like a soft cheese, but it has maggots all over it. It's what's it called? Kazumatsu.
Oh, this, yes, yeah. And you eat the maggots?
I believe, yes.
Sure, I think I'd eat that. I ate when I was in China. Did I tell you about the rabbit heads?
No.
Oh my God, I can't believe I've never told you this story. So I spent, this is probably about 10 years ago now. Actually, a little more. Fuck. This is by the way, this year, 2025, is the 10-year anniversary of me leaving science for music, new YouTube, this.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. So it would be a few years before that, because Audrey hadn't been born yet. So let's say 12-ish years ago, I spent 3 weeks in Chengdu, China, lecturing. My university, Queen Mary in England, had some kind of program or fund or whatever to bring their scientists to us and our scientists to them. And a call went out on the faculty or the physics list server. It was a physics specific thing. And it's like, hey, anyone interested in lecturing in China for 3 weeks? And I didn't have a kid. And I was like, fuck, yes. You tell me if there's an opportunity to go to another country and hang out for a while, I'm going to take it. So I went to Chengdu, my first and only time visiting China, and it was fantastic. I had the time of my life. 3 weeks is a long time to be in a place.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the middle of summer, which is why I could do it because I wasn't teaching. So it was hot as balls. It was just like, hot, 100% humidity, just like you walk outside and it's gross. But whatever, that's the time I could be there. So anyway, the the story is we had a scientist there, a local scientist who had been a grad student at Queen Mary and was now a faculty member in China. And he was well connected locally and took us around to various restaurants. And the restaurant, he was like, okay, you guys got to come to this restaurant. He said, I'm going off what I was told by this one person, so please fact check me here. He's like, this is a popular date spot for local, 20-somethings, young people. They go and they eat at this place. And this place is known for its what they called heartbreaking rabbit heads. And what it is you walk in. They served other things too, but this was the specialty. A gigantic, metal pot. And by gigantic, I mean seemed like a couple feet high.
Yeah.
And like maybe a foot and a half to a couple feet around, just big, boiling, kind of hot potty looking thing, filled, red with chili peppers and probably Sichuan peppers and all that stuff. And what they would do is they would take the head of the full head of a rabbit with the fur peeled off and boil it. And then they would serve you on a plate a gigantic bowl of rabbit heads, and they would give you gloves to put on because it's so hot, right? You don't want to get under your skin. And by the way, these were not cracked or whatever. It's just a rabbit head, and what you would do is just eat the shit out of it. I mean, you would just open it up, eat the brain, eat the tongue, eat the cheeks, eat the everything.
Oh, I think I'm literally looking at a picture from this restaurant.
I did it. Well, the thing I remember is the logo of the restaurant was the Playboy bunny.
Objectively funny.
Can I find this picture and send it to you? It is definitely the kind of thing that, if you are somewhat of the faint of heart, probably not exactly the thing that you want to see.
Okay, but was it good?
It was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Wow. What was the best part of the head?
The ass. Probably. Right. No, I mean, it was all it's all stewed beyond recognition, right? So
right.
It's
if
just
somebody didn't tell
meat.
you other than the sight of this flaming red desiccated rabbit skull.
I'm going to find this picture for you. I think I know when this is. Hold on. Let's see if I can find this picture and send it to you. Oh, yep. Okay, here we go.
Wow, that was quick.
Oh yeah. Well, I searched through years. Look at this, man. This was a great trip. I have so many fun stories from this trip. I have to find. So I'm in the China site. This is a real time breakdown of my trip to Chengdu. Am I going to be able? Oh, here we go. Oh my God. Okay, Layden, get ready for this. First of all, here's the outside of the restaurant. I'm going to send you the outside of the restaurant. And when I say it's the Playboy bunny, look at this and tell me it's not the Playboy bunny.
Oh, they're loading. They're
okay,
loading.
This is all the pictures.
Whoa, that's a lot of pictures.
Okay, there should be four. I can't see.
They're blurry because they're loading.
Okay. Load. Here, let's chant together. Load. Load.
Whoa, okay, that does look really good.
Okay, so do you see the facade of the restaurant?
Yes, that is 100% the Playboy bunny.
It's just the Playboy bunny. And then there's a dish of the heads. You see that? And then the next picture, do you see the head on the plate?
Yes.
So you can see the little teeth, right?
I do indeed see the teeth, but it looks really good.
Now, do you see, okay, so the thing behind, to the right, there's kind of a big hole. That's the brain, cavity. Yeah.
Nice.
So I just, I am very much in the when in Rome camp of traveling, and my host was like, this is how you do it. So that's how we did it. And it was great.
Yeah, the bowl of the heads is pretty ghastly looking, but looking at the other ones with the meat, that looks like some very tender, lovely meat.
Yes. And it was like,
grease.
All I want when I travel is to do the thing I can't do at home.
Yeah.
And sometimes for legal reasons, guys like, let's eat the shit out of these heads. So,
well, I'm pretty sure they don't shit out of their heads. That's
I don't know how bunnies work, Leighton. Sorry.
That seems concerning.
I get very passionate about this. I'll tell you my other story from this trip, which was funny too. we did a lot of stuff. We actually, the guy who was our local contact I just told you about, he took us to, I guess his mom's a politician locally, and took us to, in the middle, like a few hours outside of town, to some monastery which was not like generally open to the public, but did have quarters for visitors. And we stayed the night in this Buddhist monastery. And it felt, it was like, I'm never going to be able to do this again. Like, we got to watch the monks do their prayers at night. They fed us this beautiful vegetarian meal. We did a hike in the middle of the woods. It was amazing. It's like one of those things where it's like, how will I ever do this? So great. But one day this guy is like, okay, well, Brian, the specialty of Chengdu is massage, and in particular foot massage. So I'm going to take you for a classic Chengdu style foot massage. And it was just me and this guy. Everybody else opted out. And there weren't that many. There were like maybe 6 of us there anyway. But yeah, everybody else was like, nope. And I said, yes. When in Rome, right? If this is the thing to do, I'm going to do it. Now, I will say this guy was my guide. I would not describe him as sketchy, but I wouldn't describe him as very like suave and with it. Okay,
sure.
a little bit naive. Nice guy, a little on the naive side maybe, but definitely, he's from the area. He knows it really well.
Yeah.
So we go to this part of town that is nowhere near where I'm staying. And we walk up to I think it was the second floor of some strip mall looking place. And,
all right. Already looking good.
Yep. It's like very nondescript on the outside. We walk in. Inside, there's a little fake river. There's a flower-covered bridge over this little fake river. There's like nice couches, except it's the lowest rent version of what I'm describing.
Yes.
Right. It looks like, it's just fake fancy, right? So my friend and I, we sit down. The guy in a tuxedo comes out. They talk to each other. I don't speak the language, so I can't understand anything. And then a few minutes later, this tuxedo guy walks out with a line of women. And my guide says to me, pick one. And I was like, excuse me? By the way, what I was told was, we're going for a foot massage.
Yes.
I picture we're going basically to like a nail salon or something. I'm going to sit in the chair. Someone's going to, give me a foot massage for a little bit. That's it. I did not picture we're going to this whole thing. Pick one. And I was like, already weird.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I gesture at the woman closest to me. My friend picks his person, and we get escorted into a room with 2 beds. And I'm like, what is about to happen here? And, the beds are like red. They're tastefully appointed, but in a tacky way. There's like flower petals on them. There's a TV playing local news, which of course I can't understand.
I don't know why that's the funniest detail so far. Now, to clarify, are these like massage beds or like bed beds?
They are bed beds. They are standard like blankets and pillows and cushions beds.
What size are these beds?
They're like double beds.
Okay.
There's 2 of them.
Oh boy. And
we get in there. The tuxedo guy, the women have, gone off somewhere. Tuxedo guy comes in, talks to my friend. Friend says, get undressed. And I'm like, well, by the way, I do not know this guy well. This is not a guy like we're best buds.
You're like chill,
I hadn't even met him in England. He was a guy who used to be at this university. And now he'd been back in China for several years. I didn't know this guy. I certainly am not like, I'd spent a week or whatever, a couple weeks with him at this point. We were not good friends. I barely knew him. And suddenly he's like, yeah, undress. And I'm like, undress? He's like, yeah, down to your underwear. Being a people pleaser and a people pleasurer, I'm like, you know what? This is 80%. I'm sure this is not a prostitution type thing. 20%, something really uncool is going to happen. I'm going to have to tap out like immediately. I think I've been told this is a massage, so I am willing to accept that this is some kind of massage. Also, what does a massage in Chengdu look like? I don't know. I've never done it. Maybe this is completely bog standard stuff. Maybe this is a completely fucked situation and I have no basis for deciding which is which. Nevertheless, I'm going to trust my friend who knows, who grew up there, knows the local customs, also knows, lived in England for a while, knows the Western world, and is not, I hope, going to put me in a situation where I'm going to have to explain something to my wife. And of course, just to say the very obvious thing here, there was no situation here in which I would end up having sex with someone. Well, in my life, I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
But certainly not in a massage parlor in the middle of Chengdu.
Right.
So after I'm like, you know what? Fucking fine. I undress. I get under the covers. I'm in my boxers. That's it. My friend does a similar thing. We get under the covers. And after a few minutes, the two women we had picked walk in and proceed to give me the roughest, most brutal massage of my entire life. Like I feel like I tweaked my shoulder during this because at one point the woman like whips my arm around. I'm like, fuck, my shoulder. Like it was insane. And it was not good. It was not like a good, awesome massage either. And I didn't speak the language, so I couldn't be like,
no, not good.
My arm doesn't, I could say, ow or stop, which I did a couple times, but I couldn't say things like, I don't think my arm bends that way. And it was like nuts and it lasted forever. And needless to say, nothing untoward happened except a, absolutely insane 12 out of 10 level brutal massage. And then we were done. Nature took its course. And I got dressed and went home. But I was, I was terrified. That was my state of mind during this whole thing. I was terrified that, because here's the other thing, is I didn't want to offend this guy or any of the local people, right?
Sure.
So even though the vibes were completely off, and I'm generally like, I'm in another country, I'm going to go with whatever. But you can tell when it's a kind of sketchy vibe. This was exactly on the border where I was like, is this weird? And usually, as we know, when you get an is this weird vibe, it's weird and you should get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But not always. Also, I'm with another person. If I was alone, that'd be a different story. I'm out of there if I'm alone.
Man, there's nothing more relaxing than stripping with a bro, getting beat up by women that you picked out in a line while watching the local news that you can't understand.
It ended up being totally fine. We went out for dumplings after, but that's my Chengdu massage story.
Wow. Would you say that after that experience, you're more knowledgeable about the world of massage? One might say like a misogynist.
Oh yes, no, I'm a skilled misogynist now.
Good, great.
Thanks to that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is Late Night with Brian Wecht. I'm Leighton Gray, the other type of misogynist, and that's Brian Wecht.
Hi, my name is Brian Wecht. That is, it is a show. It's our first show, first new show of the new year. Because it's hard to book guests over the holidays.
Also, I don't want to record over the holidays.
No, I didn't either. I'm going on a little trip next week. We're filming a couple NSP music videos for our upcoming cover album, Under the Covers 4. And we're getting this out of the way before I go on my trip so I can edit it. And it's just us.
Yep. Chilling. I lit a candle.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah. What scent is your candle?
Well, it says Sassy,
Ooh.
featuring a feisty blend of spice and backtalk, which
Does it really say that?
it does. Yeah. I also have
Backtalk?
one. Yeah, I have one from the same line called Introvert that's like featuring warm vanilla and the scent of canceled plans because marketing does work.
I have to say, I don't know, a little too much for me. A little too
Oh no.
arch.
See, these the labels irritate the shit out of me, but they both smell so good that I begrudgingly purchase them. This one smells like an old man's cologne, which feels completely out of line with the description, but it is genuinely great. And then the Introvert one is my favorite kind of like nice spiced vanilla.
That's great.
yeah.
I was actually the old. Let's talk about old men for a minute. Now, 2025 is a big year for me. I turned 50 this year.
Indeed you do.
Indeed, I do. Plans forthcoming, by the way. Now, what I am squarely middle-aged, of course, at this point.
Yes. Congrats.
But I can see old from here, right? By some definitions, I'm old. I don't think I'm old, but I'm middle-aged.
I don't think you're old.
I'm older. I also have the dumbest job imaginable, which helps keep me youthful. When do I become old? What's old, Leighton? When do you leave middle age and move into senior? By the way, do you want to know a completely fucked thing that I just learned?
Sure.
AARP 55.
Oof.
Yeah, maybe even actually
See,
50, which is
that-
like, oh my God, really?
That feels wrong.
I feel
Which-
like 60 should be the cutoff. There may be 65 even.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it depends more on the vibe of the person and how they look and how they carry themselves. Like, you know, you meet people who you are shocked to find out are late 60s or something, like someone who has taken really good care of themselves.
Yeah.
And then there are some people you meet who are like 40 and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, and 40 is exactly around when that kind of divide starts to happen. That's right.
Yeah. In the same way that, you know, you can meet somebody who's early 20s who feels older or significantly younger. It's just sort of people carry time differently.
Yeah, I think I look my age. I don't think I act or have a job typical of my age. I think you look your age. I think you also have I don't know. I'd say your job for your age is a little more typical, but not really. Neither of us have like standard jobs.
Indeed. Different kinds of jobs.
Yeah. Most young women your age aren't forced to hang out with a 50-year-old man for 3 to 4 hours a week.
Yeah. It's a living. And actually, it's like not really a living, but, you know, we do it anyway.
It's enough of it's a supplement. That's
It's a
what it is.
supplement.
And it is one of the highlights of my week, to be sure.
Same. I mean, what are you having a bit of an existential moment about old? The beach that makes you old?
No, not really. I mean, I've been to that beach. That's how I got this way. Actually, I was 23 yesterday. No, not really. Not existential. I mean, not more of an existential moment than I have normally all the time anyway. So, no, not really. I mean...
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck can I say about my life? Like, I am incredibly lucky, and I have so much more that I am wanting to and able to do that I can't really, I can't really complain about. I mean, I can and I will, but
Yeah.
no, existential. Let me put it this way: yes, existential, but not a different existential crisis than I've been having for literally my entire life. So
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
not really.
Fair. That's good to hear. Do you think there's a midlife crisis in your future, or do you feel like you've already done that?
No, I'm
Okay,
actually
yeah.
hitting. Hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5.5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time for a midlife crisis.
Bing bing bam dum dum bum ba dum bam ba dum bum bum ba bum bum bum.
What's going on?
is this happening?
This is my
What did I
midlife
do?
crisis. Don't, Layton, don't diminish my midlife crisis, please. This is also my sex playlist.
Is this the 10-hour remix?
It's a merciful 3 minutes.
That's good. Are we gonna do the whole thing?
I guess you're going to have to see how much you respect my midlife crisis.
I don't think I'm supposed to enable you though in a midlife crisis.
I disagree. Isn't a midlife crisis all about a much younger woman enabling?
I don't know how much it's about like a much younger woman getting really mad at you.
I think that happens a lot, actually.
Sure.
You know what you should ask me? Like,
What?
when are you going to tell your wife that you're podcasting with me?
I'm not gonna ask that, especially now with Crazy Frog playing in the background. Or the foreground, really.
I could make it closer to the mic, too.
Don't do that. Have I ever listened to this song in its entirety?
I have a lot. It's my sex playlist.
Right.
It's this song 10 times.
Only this song. Oh, I was assuming that was only played once.
No, I do it 10 times to kind of spread it out a little bit. How close do you think we are to the end?
I feel like there's 3 minutes left.
That's Crazy Frog, baby. That's the genius.
That it's just completely interminable.
Oh, I forgot about the break it. That's usually... Well, I've got other stuff going on when that happens, usually.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's breaking something. Maybe
Yeah.
my will to live. Do not restart it. Stop it.
I had already done it by the time you said do not restart it. Okay.
Are you
Midlife
happy
crisis
now?
over. That was a good one.
Wow. Has anybody done like a soft lo-fi acoustic cover of that song?
I don't know, but Trey Magnifique might.
Yo. I would actually love that.
I was thinking, now, as you may know, I do covers when I do my live Trey Magnifique show.
Indeed.
But I don't think I'd put them out because I want that stuff to be generally originals, except for the holiday album.
Sure.
But I was thinking maybe doing like, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, social media reels of some cover songs. What would be a good song to do smooth jazz versions of?
Darude Sandstorm.
Now, that is a fucking idea and a half that I have to do, and I love it. I can't believe I didn't think of it before. Absolutely, that's the right answer. Good job.
Got it in one. I think Crazy Frog, yes. I think
But
you should...
Axel F, it'd have to be the Crazy Frog. Like, it's hard to do. Hold on, I'm writing these down. Darude Sandstorm. Axel F is a good choice.
Let's see.
I mean, these meme songs are pretty good. Like Harlem Shake. Nah.
Is that even enough to do?
Nah, it's not. It doesn't feel. I don't even know the rest of the song,
Maybe I feel like a Nickelback one would do well. Smooth jazz Nickelback.
Yeah, but could it... Now, this makes me such a predictable old man. Name a Nickel. I don't even know a single Nickelback song. And also, it's become too trendy to hate on Nickelback.
I think it's looped back around where people like them again. We wore out our welcome with hating
that's good.
Nickelback. I'm not suggesting it in the sense of like, look how terrible it is. Just that I think it's, people are finally coming back around.
But sing a Nickelback. What's the most famous Nickelback
Look
song?
at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know
that's
the rest
right.
of the lyrics to that song.
I know this one too. This is a good Nickelback one.
Stop. Oh my God. I mean, that would genuinely be a banger on the sex.
I think so too. I had a couple other ideas, like more modern thing, like Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo was one I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was thinking I didn't
Sabrina
have
Carpenter.
I didn't have the time to do it. I was thinking about doing Defying Gravity from Wicked. Because I already do, it's not quite the same thing, but it's close enough. Live, sometimes I'll do Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka.
Nice.
Which is just it's an actually great song, right?
It really is.
Well, actually, so is, wait, what's the one I was just talking about? Defying Gravity. That's a great song. It's one of the only good songs in Wicked.
Wow, you're not a fan of Popular?
Actually, I like that one too. Those are the two I like. The other ones, and we talked about this on the recent mini. I love musicals. You know this. The world knows this. Wicked's not my jam. This makes me out of step. It's my sister. Out of step with reality.
Yeah. Yeah, let me think on other songs that you could do.
Listeners, if you have suggestions for Trey Magnifique cover songs, and you know what I'm talking about here, these are songs where it's meant to be a little bit funny, like what the
Britney Spears Toxic.
You know what? For one live show, I did Oops, I Did It Again.
Okay.
In Burlington, and it didn't go great, but Toxic I was thinking about as well. Toxic is a very good choice. Saxic.
Cascada, Every Time We Touch.
Solid choice. What about some memeier songs?
I mean, that one's pretty memey.
Yeah. There are a billion fucking TikTok songs that I kind of don't want to get involved with.
What about the like Sigma Male song?
Wait, this one?
Don't, please, God, don't.
You have no, Leighton,
Don't do
I
it.
mean this. You have no
Don't
idea what I'm about to
do
play
it.
It's
Don't
not,
do it.
It's not Crazy
Do
Frog.
not.
Do you think
Don't.
I'm going to play Crazy Frog?
Yes, I do.
I'm not. I promise you I'm not.
Yeah, are you?
I'm not. You know I would never lie to you, right?
Fine, do it then. Do it. Just get it over with. What did I say?
I guess I was wrong. Sorry. There was no way of knowing.
Yeah. This is the song that I mean. I'll put it in the private chat.
Ooh. Have I ever heard this? Sigma Rule male theme song by Gems Trap? There's no melody. What is this? Oh, here it goes. Okay, yes, I have heard this. Yes. Well, as a Sigma, of course.
Yeah, it's the Sigma Male Grindset song.
I think my problem was that song is just constantly playing in my brain, so I didn't acknowledge hearing it.
Right, it like
that's just
canceled
like
itself
how I
out.
live. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how I live.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to hear some more Trey covers.
And I think here's the thing. This is one of my goals for 2025 is I'm going to try to release those. So normally, of course, the amazing Meowch produces all the Trey stuff. For the covers, I'm going to try to do them myself.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's a skill set I need to have if I wanted to do more other things, game scoring, etc. And I don't know how to produce. So I feel like doing a couple low stakes smooth jazz covers would be a good opportunity to learn some of those skills. I was debating, actually. Tell me what you think about this. Okay. We are both famously adults. And
I don't know about that.
yeah, well, I'm not sure which one you're talking about or both, but okay. Sometimes I think all adults share. You know what? This might be vastly overstating something, but let me phrase it as a question. Don't you sometimes want to take a year off and just take a bunch of classes and learn how to do shit? Do you ever have that fantasy?
I certainly have the fantasy about taking classes. Yeah. I crave the structure of a rule set and operating within that rule set
and deadlines and like
Yeah.
deadlines where it's not like I won't get paid.
Yeah.
But it's deadlines like I need to turn this shit in, so I
taking
better
notes.
learn how to do it. Yeah.
I miss taking notes so bad.
Yeah. And I think many adults do, right? And so I think, so I often have this fantasy of going back to school. Now, I took as much school as you can
you
take.
already did that.
I did it. I did all the required school, and then I did 4 more years of the school that people do, and then I did 6 more years of fucking school just because. What is this perverse fantasy where I'm like, you know, it'd be nice right now? More school. I guess part of it is it's a thing I know I'm good at. So being back in school, I could be like, check out this guy over here, Dr. School.
There's the tantalizing structure of I have a morning class and then I fuck off. Then I maybe have an evening class. And, you know, every day you got a different little schedule, and the relief that comes with, you know, working towards the deadline and finishing it. Again, when it's divorced from being paid.
Yes. Or even just, I have a class I do, you know, I go to a couple nights a week. Even that is like a thing. And it's not
you watch
like
someone talk. Somebody teaches you a thing. That's
and
nice.
you do projects. You have assignments. I love problem sets. Like I would write them when I was a professor, and I would do them when I was a student. And sometimes they're intensely frustrating because you're like, how the fuck do I do this? But you always learn something. Yet, and here's where I'm going with this. I also fully recognize that the best way to learn something is just to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm like, so obviously what I'm talking about here is, should I take some kind of like production class? And then I think about that and what it would cost. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what if I flip the script and just did a thing that I could make money at and learn the skill set by doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is
totally.
obviously the better option in many ways. Yet I still sometimes just want to go take a little class. Well, the other thing, of course, is you can learn all this shit on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's I think about this a lot. Like, I want to learn how to produce better. I know enough I could figure it out.
And we have enough talented producer friends who can just teach you stuff.
I was even talking about this with Jim Roach, and he's like, are you fucking kidding? Of course you could do this shit. Like,
yeah.
You know,
if
and
anyone
also,
could do it, it would be you.
Right. And I wouldn't be as good at it as Jim or Meowch or, Alana, many of the other producers, we know. But I would get there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, that's exciting. That's a nice goal to have for 2025.
I think so, right? New skills.
Yeah.
New skills that pay the bills. New skills that pay the new bills. Because that's my other goal, is lots of new bills.
Okay. All
in
right.
2025. Yeah. Do you have a goal? Not a resolution, but a goal maybe for 2025?
I don't know if anybody else out there feels this way. I find New Year's Eve literally the most depressing day of the year. And then the week prior and the week after, just absolute morasses of misery. I don't like reflecting on a previous year. I don't like reflecting on the passage of time or the prospect of another year. So no, I never have New Year's resolutions.
Well,
and
I'm not saying resolutions,
a
but
goal.
continue.
I don't know.
Is there anything you want to do this year? That's all I'm asking, really.
Okay, fine. We don't have
That's
to
the question
formalize
I'm
it.
asking. It's not a New Year thing necessarily.
Okay.
But is there a project or something that you're like, this is the year I'm going to do, or this is the time to do X?
Yeah.
Right.
But they're all like NDA / I don't want to talk about them publicly. But maybe more broadly in a way that I can talk about, to not expend all of my creative energy on my job.
On this podcast, click.
No, see, this is getting like 2% of my creative energy.
Yeah.
Not to expend all of my creative energy on my job, which ultimately is in service of other people's things, and to put more energy into my own projects / not completely be sucked dry by stuff that I am paid to care about versus stuff that I would like to actually care about.
I think that's a good goal. Also, you are really at a great age for that too. Like this, I don't know. I feel like It was in my late 20s, early 30s. I was like, all right, I'm going to do the shit I want to do now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
even scientifically.
Yeah. I mean, I spent late teens, early 20s doing a lot of, you know, my own thing, shit that I wanted to do. And I feel like I've just had stuff kind of percolating in the background for the past few years and little gigs and stuff. I think my other secondary unstated goal of every year is don't go completely crazy. So that one sometimes takes precedence over other goals.
As it should. Now here's a question for you. Foot goals. What, in terms of injury,
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to in the new year? Are you going to break a different foot, break the same foot?
It's a thought.
Or
It's a
mix
thought.
it up, kind of see where the weather takes us?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like for it to stop hurting all the time. That alone would be nice. To not be stymied in terms of where I can walk to and how long I can stand up
Yep.
by said injury.
Do you say stymied rather than stymied?
Is it stymied?
I've always said stymied, but I don't know.
I'm probably wrong.
Let's look this up, right? Or they're usually with the case with these things is they're both right.
Me just Googling, is it stymied or stymied?
MW.com.
Pronounce.
It's stymie. MW only has the long I.
Wow. Okay. Well, learning new things.
Okay. But you were talking about the same word, stymie, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Stymied.
It's
Different
fine.
thing.
This is how we learn and grow.
Oh no, I'm not actually embarrassed by it. I just
No,
think
no, no,
stymied is a funny word,
I love
funny pronunciation.
genuinely, this is not being facetious. When I find that I'm saying a word completely wrong and a friend is like, "What?" Because the older you get, the more you're like, how did I get to 50 and still say that word this way and nobody has called me out on it?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
That's like a person I used to know who would go on long rants about ableism.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I also knew another person who would pronounce words wrong while you're having a discussion with them, but then you're engaging in the discussion, so naturally you also have to say
Yes,
the word, and
that's
they
right.
would get mad at you for not saying the word the way that they said it because they thought it was passive aggressive to say the word correctly.
That rules. That's a cool person.
Or very cool. Or where I would do the thing of like, is that how you actually pronounce it? Like I'm, doing the thing where you're setting up the other person for like, oh, have I been saying it wrong the whole time and you're saying it correctly? That one is maybe a little bit more passive aggressive.
Well, the way I have learned to say it, as I believe what I did here is, I say, "Is that how you say it?" Because that is not a presumption of correct or incorrect. And usually the best answer to that is like, oh yeah, that's just my, that's how I grew up saying it. That's my accent or whatever. That's my, idiolect. And that's amazing. When you hear a new pronunciation of a word that you've never heard before, and then someone's like, oh yeah, everyone where I'm from says it that way. And you're like, what the fucked? You say caramel?
What the fucked?
What the fucked? I guess I did say that. I'm adding a lot of T's to stuff today.
You dropped a T in script.
I did.
The people that I'm talking about who did these things and got mad about that kind of thing are capital D, capital P, difficult people who I no longer interact with. So that's nice.
Nice.
Speaking of learning new things, I encountered a word for the first time today that
do tell.
was very exciting.
I want to hear everything.
Cunctation.
Ooh, spell it.
Cunctation.
Cunctation. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what could this possibly mean? And you know what this means.
Yes, now I do.
Did you have to look it up, or
I had to look it up, yeah.
can you give me the context in which you saw it?
It's in a book that I'll talk about for what's popping, but let's see if I can get it in a sentence.
Yeah, because looking at this, I don't feel like I know any. I can't even make a good guess at this.
It's an archaic word, apparently. Let's see.
Yes, please.
all these sentences that I'm finding are like terrible, poorly constructed sentences. But the cunctation of the students caused low grades because the teacher always provided important information at the beginning of the class.
Okay, well, is it... I mean, my initial guess would be some kind of disruptive behavior, but based on what I'm hearing now, it's more of like a punctuality thing.
Yeah. Indeed.
So I'm going to assume it's the punctualness of the students.
As a noun, it's the act of procrastinating, putting off or delaying or deferring an action to a later time. So
What's the root? I don't know. I don't see a
don't
familiar
know.
root here at all. Unless okay, it's procrastination.
yeah.
But it does share a lot with punctuality or punctual.
Yeah. Oh,
the
that's a good
unk.
point. Yeah. Let's
So,
see.
but that would be weird if it was only the C and P.
It's
different. I don't know.
from Latin.
That's what I would have guessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Cunctor. Linger, hesitate.
Oh, I know that guy. He's a total cunctor.
Well, yeah. So not only is this word one that sounds like my favorite word, it also
Yes.
describes a thing that I do constantly. So it was really
Wow.
exciting for me.
Big day for you.
I know.
That's fantastic. Cunctation.
Okay,
And that
I like.
means it means procrastination. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
I like that. The suggested things on Google are suggesting other interesting words, like
Oh, do tell.
what is a penurious?
Penurious?
Yes.
Well, that penury is when you owe a lot of money, right? So penurious is broke,
Extremely stingy, miserly.
stingy. Okay, yes. I was close, but not quite there.
What is gasconating?
That I don't know. Yeah, no idea.
To praise or express pride in one's own possessions, qualities, or accomplishments, often to excess.
Cool.
Here's another one. What is
yes.
latibulate?
Latib with a B or a P?
Yeah, with a B.
Latibulate. I have no idea. What is it?
To hide in a corner.
Latibulating? It means to hide in a corner? Huh.
Yeah. Latibulating with Brian Wecht.
This is why the OED is so great, because you open it up and you're like, what the fuck is going on this page? So fascinating to me. I
Yeah.
learned, so one of my favorite podcasts, which I listen to every week, often with Audrey, is the Linguistics and Lexicography podcast, Away with Words, hosted by Grant Barrett and Martha Barnett. And truly wonderful podcast. Been going on for, I don't know, 20 more years, something like that. I was once a guest.
Wow.
Well, that's an overstatement. They used to do a call-in quiz thing, and a buddy of mine was one of the writers, and he was like, hey, do you want to call into this thing? And they asked you if you knew what slang words meant. So this is
really setting the foundation for your later career.
Yeah, pretty much. So I called in, and this was a long time ago. But they were discussing a phrase on this most recent episode that I really loved. It was someone saying that her mom, when she was a little kid and she was out in public and she was going to touch something gross, her mom would say, don't touch that. You'll get honkus of the bonkus. Honkus of the bonkus.
That's basically how the gamer chat describes smoking weed.
100%. That's exactly right. You can
Honking
do a
on
little
that bobo.
honkus of the bonkus there. But it turns out it comes from a Popeye cartoon, 100 years ago, or in the heyday of Popeye, where someone was, I believe, diagnosed with honkus of the donkus. So
That's how they get you.
yeah, honkus of the bonkus. I also just love the idea of a parent being like, don't touch that. You're gonna get a honkus of the bonkus. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. This was like the constant threat of my parents as a child of we're gonna go to the broccoli any place that we're going, it would be the broccoli farm, actually.
Oh, that's funny. Did your parents ever do the 12th of never thing?
The 12th of never.
Like when can I get a new, I don't know, video game? When can I get the new Animal Crossing? Oh, on the 12th. Really? The 12th of never.
That would be a great. Is that not already the name of a book? It's clearly the name of a song, but
Well, it's in a song. Actually, it's in Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is how I heard it first. But I had an old girlfriend of mine who was from Florida said that her parents used to say that to her all the time.
Wow.
But I'd never heard it before.
yeah, I've never heard that either.
So I don't know if it's a Southern thing or if it's a, family thing, whatever. But
Yeah, maybe a similar, really specific thing is my grandmother's word for when you can't sleep the night before a big trip.
Oh, wait. I wonder okay, what is it?
What's yours?
Journey proud.
Journey proud is also mine.
Okay, I learned about this on A Way with Words because someone's grandma used to say it.
Yeah, I know that there are other words for it though.
Leighton, this is so interesting because this is the one I remember hearing. I mean, I heard this like 10 years ago on this show. And I was like, that is such a good word. I've never had a word for that. I got to remember that.
Yeah.
And so it was also like an older generation thing. I can't believe your grandma said that. That's awesome. I've been thinking about that. I listen to a lot of these shows and very few of these words stick with me. Mm-hmm. And that's one that really did. And that's wild that it's a family word for you.
Getting journey proud about trip to the broccoli farm.
My family word, which I am almost convinced is just a weird family thing that nobody else says, is
a Wectianism.
Indeed. Well, actually, I believe more of a Schindlerianism. My mother's maiden name was Schindler.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, as I've mentioned, my mother grew up Christian and my father is Jewish.
She was Christian.
Yeah, Episcopalian.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Did you not know that?
No, maybe.
Yeah, but she was. Some of this is in the NSP graphic novel, which I do not expect you to have read. But one of the reasons my father was not very in touch with his Jewish faith, and I think a main reason was that his parents were so upset about him marrying not a Jewish woman that his mom faked a heart attack on the day of their wedding.
Oh my God.
My grandmother, who I never met, she died before I was born, was not at my parents' wedding because she faked a heart attack to try to, well, she wouldn't say this explicitly, but the implication is to try to stop the wedding and to get family members to be with her rather than go to the ceremony.
Boy.
Isn't that fucked?
Yeah, that is messed up.
So we had a lot of like culturally Jewish stuff, that was a part of our lives, but religion, not so much. My father only went to temple when it was like for someone else's ceremony.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if it's someone else's, bar mitzvah or funeral, whatever, then he'd go, but not for his own thing. He never, ever took me to temple because he was like, if they can't hang with the woman I love, then too bad.
Good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But where was I going with? Oh yeah. So the Schindler, my mother's maiden name, the phrase my grandmother and then parents would use to okay, you have a dog. Dog needs to go take a little doggy dump or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you let them out into, you have a fenced in backyard and you let them out so they can go do whatever. Use the dog restroom, as it were. What's the word or phrase? It's a phrase. It's a 3-word phrase for that you say, come on, insert dog name.
Right.
I'll use my childhood dog, Truffle. Come on, Truffle. Let's blank. Do you have a word for that?
The let's is throwing me off.
You don't even need the let's, actually. Sometimes it would be there, sometimes it would.
The first thing that comes to mind is do your business.
That's the more typical one. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know what
There's
else it could possibly...
much weirder one that my family used.
Go tinkle your winkle.
You will never guess this.
I know I won't.
Years.
You got to tell me.
Show the bunny.
What the fuck?
Come on, Truffle. Show the bunny. Let's show the money. That was my family's word for, come on, dog, go piss.
Dare I inquire as to the origin of this phrase?
Well, Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, where I grew up, had a famous cadre of horny, freaky little bunnies that really got off by watching dogs take dumps and pee. And they couldn't get in the mood, as it were,
Right.
to do what bunnies do unless they were indulging in this particular kink.
I regret asking.
No, I have no idea. I think all it is bunnies live outside. Go
You're-
show the bunny.
you're
And maybe
sure
there was a
showing 'em.
bunny that lived in the backyard of a childhood home or something. Or it's just something my grandmother said.
Huh.
But yeah, show the bunny. And the dogs would respond to it. This was not like a one-off thing. It was the de rigueur phrase for call the dog to go outside. Come on, show the bunny.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? And that's why it's so weird. In fact, I often think if I ever do call into a way with words as a, hey, where did this phrase come from? Which is the question everybody asks. That would be mine. And I am fairly convinced that. And you know what? I could fucking Google it, but who has time?
It's kind of better to not Google it. I
Kinda
feel
better
like it
to not
retains
Google it.
some of the magic. And then you
I
don't have
agree.
the stupid AI summary taking up an entire page of results being like, would you like to read this list of things that I hallucinated?
Yeah. Bunnies are capable of seeing lots of TV shows. Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's sometimes better not to know. And we all have these things. It's like, how have I never searched for this online? That's mine.
Yeah.
Show the bunny.
Yeah, rabbits enjoy movies such as Hairspray.
Yeah. Right. Should we move on to some segments here? Unless I'd love to hear other family words. If you have other family words. Because as a, you have family from Jersey, you live in North Carolina,
I do. Well, I could insert a variety of curse words here.
Sure.
Which would be accurate.
but this family show, we don't curse.
It's a family show. Fucking A right it is.
Yeah. That's it. By the way, you did exactly what my daughter does all the time. Okay, Daddy, I won't fucking curse right now. It's her favorite joke at the moment. And
Of course
because
it
it's
is.
funny.
Yeah, objectively funny. I'm blanking on what other ones would be, but I would be very happy to do segments and reflect upon
Well,
it.
that
And then,
sounds great.
Yeah.
And then what? No, please finish. I hate to think that even once I might have interrupted you. So please finish that thought.
that's the misogynist at work.
Therapeutic misogynist. Good. That's a good episode title. Therapeutic misogyny.
Oh, I'm sure that'll really work. On
We might
people.
actually, hey, it's 2025. We might attract a fun new audience.
Oh my God, that would be the best. They would be so nice to me.
They would be so nice to you. They'd love your whole energy,
Yeah,
I think.
like everybody does.
Maybe, you know what we can try to do? What if we
What?
try to find some, what's the word I'm looking for? Sigma catnip, right? Something that, really lures them in and turns them on. But something new.
That
right?
isn't like Andrew Tate shit.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing not that kind of actually misogynist, broy bullshit. But we find some new medically cultivated Sigma catnip, that it's like
Medically
it'll-
cultivated Sigma catnip.
It'll activate the Rizzlers.
Now we're getting into Manchurian Candidate shit.
Yeah, exactly. The Sigmanchurian Candidate,
Fuck.
right? So we find the thing.
That might be the episode title, honestly.
Sigmanchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm into it. All right, well, listen. Let's just...
The activation word is mewing.
Oh, my God. I hear so much about fucking mewing.
From your child?
Yes, but as not because of what the thing is, just because it is a slang word. We had a
Yeah.
couple kids over a few days ago, friends and their kids, and the oldest kid, who was 12. Yeah, 12. It was like a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and then a 8-year-old, something roughly. And at some point, the younger kids were going, he's mewing, stop him from mewing, he's mewing. It was so funny.
Oh my God, that's really good.
Yeah. And so they know what it is, but they do it. It's a very like self-referential thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, upon learning what mewing was and being very, very confused while browsing the mewing subreddit,
oh my God, I can't even imagine what that's like.
I've been mewing my entire life. My resting position is the mewing position. So
it's a jaw position, right?
It's your tongue on the roof of your mouth at rest to strengthen and sharpen your jaw muscles.
That's it?
Yeah.
Isn't there something where you like move your finger along your jawline or something too?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, how can you tell if that's what it is? How can you tell if someone's mewing?
Exactly. That their,
well, that's my secret,
jawline's
actually.
getting sharper.
I'm always mewing.
I can tell when you're mewing.
Yeah. I'm like
that's the new dark romance book talk fantasy thing.
I'm like Mew Spanner. That's my secret. I'm always mewing.
I'm gonna need some Metamucil after that show.
All right. Well, our first segment on the show, and this is new for 2025. We're going to mix things up a little bit this year, as we discussed. I kind of wanted to, go back to when we think about now. We're over 250 episodes in to this
crazy.
thing.
Fraud.
Indeed, crazy. It's actually, that reminds me of something I wanted to play for you. I was thinking back to, hearkening back, if you will, to the early days of this show. And, before the segments had like congealed into their musky, unpleasant form that they're currently
Their nebulous masses.
Yeah. And we had Peaches and Lemons, your idea, from the get-go. I mean, you created it. I perfected it, I think, is the way people usually think about that. But the other, we didn't.
Do you ever see people say "from the get-go"?
From the like we did it from the get-go?
Yeah.
Is that an eggcorn?
It is. I've seen people say it.
Fantastic.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Wow. We did that from the get-go. That's fantastic.
It's coming from the get-go. The get-go is generating this.
I had not heard that one before, but the moment you said it, I was like, oh, that's an eggcorn.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what eggcorn has been bothering me recently?
What?
Is when people say, okay, cue the music, but they use Q-U-E-U-E.
Yeah, bad.
What? What are you doing? It's not even eggcorn. It's just the wrong...
Well,
I guess an eggcorn is like... Well, I don't think it's quite an eggcorn, but yes, please.
In an age of Spotify, I do literally spend a lot of time Q-U-E-ing the music.
Well, you know what? That is true. Okay, fair enough. But
that's not what people mean when they say that. I'm just being devil's advocate here.
No, fair. I always, my first question is, am I the one who's wrong here? The answer is so far 100% of the time been no, but theoretically it's possible. But anyway, I was thinking back to the early days of this show and what our segments used to be like or not be like. And, I think we did it well, right? I think we kind of just started without a very, very clear plan of what we were going to do. And I had one kind of ethos, which is my typical ethos for life, which is live in the moment, right? You don't want to overplan because I think that can ruin the spontaneity of things. And we wanted we wanted this to be like a cool, spontaneous space for teens to hang out and discuss, discuss their concerns. And I don't understand.
This is a family show.
Yeah, for teens and their parents to hang out
and listen to together and enjoy.
That's right. And I think we may have overshot the mark a bit. Our demo right now is a bit older, but that's fine. But that was just what we were going in with originally, right? In fact, the Teenscape was the original name of this show. which we decided to rebrand pretty quickly. But if you look back at those early episodes,
it was originally Late Teen Night.
Late Teen, that's right, Late Teen Night, which is the fabric that you're made out of. Actually, Late Teen.
Yeah, it was pretty late epic.
But I was thinking about. I kind of want to go back to this, this like vibe it out sort of. Anything goes, anything can happen,
Okay, hold
and
on.
sometimes does.
Never say the phrase "vibe it out" ever
Why?
again.
Why? What's wrong with vibe it out?
I don't like it when you say it.
What don't you like about it? And be very specific. And if you can't be very specific, I'm going to keep saying it. So I'm looking for a dose of rationality here, Leighton.
Facts and logic.
Yeah,
Well, Brian, facts
hold on,
don't care.
shut up.
Facts don't care about your
Facts don't care about
feelings.
your feelings. I was started to say it first. But you know what? Because
you're having a feeling that you
shut up, please
you
be quiet,
don't like
please,
me telling you not to say "vibe it out." I think that nobody should ever vibe it out.
Respectfully, be quiet.
Somehow, be quiet is more offensive than shut up.
Simmer. I like simmer down. Also,
Calm down.
Calm down. Smile. There we go. Great. I can't see you right now because we're not doing video this week. But, and I'm going to allow you. You know what? I will give you the point, as it were, for saying facts don't care about your feelings first, because it really is. When you think about it, like if you really sit down and think about what that statement means, you got to admit it's true. Change my mind.
I don't intend to change your mind. It's a true statement.
Well, thank you.
And your feelings about the matter don't change the fact that facts don't care about your feelings.
But I don't even have feelings.
Doesn't care about your feelings.
Here's something people don't get about me. I'm 100% fact. I don't even have feelings about things. I just have a list of facts. And then, my internal algorithm tells me how to respond. Right.
It's a phrase that I never want to hear again. Not from you. I'm not talking about vibe it out. I'm talking about, here's where my brain went. My brain went, you must be fun at parties. And then immediate violent, I never want to hear that again. I'm so fucking sick of that phrase. This meaningless,
yes,
annoying.
Because it's always in response to, it's like someone, let's say, posts something. There's an extremely uncool and aggressive response to it. The original poster then says something like, usually something measured, which is like, actually, that's not true. And then, you must be really fun at parties. Fuck you.
It's a thing that...
Who has fun at parties? Nobody.
Exactly.
Don't go to a party to have fun. You go to a party to network.
I mean, it's a thing that unfunny people say to try to be funny. And I think there are many phrases that kind of occupy that zone where I think with the memification of everything, it's very easy to reach for stock phrases, which, has always been true, but
of course
is especially noticeable on the internet.
And then the thing I don't understand even more than the you must be fun at parties thing is when and sometimes you see this, is the person then responds to that with like, actually, I am pretty fun at parties. Thank you for asking. It's like, why that did not merit a response. That is an automatic conversation ender. Don't give them more attention.
It's a thought terminating cliche.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
As
Don't
many of these
respond
things
to
are.
It. Yes. Actually, I am fun at parties. This is the secret.
That's a surefire way to indicate even further that you are in fact not fun at parties if you must thoroughly insist on the fact.
Yeah, that you are. That's right. And how many parties are you getting invited to anyway? Not that many. But this actually brings me back to my point. The whole having fun thing, having, partying, like just meeting, being in a space with a bunch of other people, seeing how everybody's feeling, vibing it out, just kind of generally getting to a place where, by the way, I was thinking, unrelated to this, that I was trying to think, okay, I'm 50 years old. I can't use the phrase young, dumb, and full of cum anymore. I'm past the point. So I think my mantra now is old, smart, and full of farts.
Oh, I like that. I was going to say old, bold, and full of gold.
That's very good too.
I like yours better though.
Old, smart, and full of farts. It's like exactly the opposite, right? Because as we all know, farts are the opposite of cum. And look, if you disagree, Facts don't care
Facts
about your
don't care
feelings.
about your feelings. Yeah. Farts don't care about your feelings.
But we're going to try something new this week, which is a new thing, a new segment that I just came up with here. This is our pop culture recommendation segment, where you get to talk about some pop culture you've been enjoying recently. It could be a book, a movie, a video game, a scientific paper, whatever it is. We say pop culture. Could be pop culture, could be high culture. Could not
It could
even
be
qualify.
unpop culture.
Yeah, indeed, it could be anything. So for the first time, we have a brand new segment on this show called What's Poppin'? And the theme song, which I wrote myself, goes here.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'? All right, Leighton, for the first ever What's Poppin'? What's poppin'?
Well, what's poppin' for me is that you didn't play Crazy Frog, which I thought was a nice
Why would I?
subversion of expectations.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, my fuck music. Right. Yeah.
All right, what's poppin' for me is that I have a lot of books on my Kindle backlog because I'll get a book and then forget that I have it, or I'll read a couple of pages and it's, I'm not really in the mood for it. But I finally was working through my backlog and I read White Noise by Don DeLillo.
A book I have started 4 times.
Brian,
Never finished it. Is it good?
it's very good.
Okay. I haven't.
And that's what's poppin' for me. Have you read his other stuff?
I read, the funny thing is I have started several Don DeLillo books, and now I started Underworld, which is really long, and I got like 150 pages in, and I was like, I just put it down for whatever reason. So I have not. I don't think I've read another one.
Yeah, I really loved White Noise. I think that his mix of like anxiety inducing tension, and I love characters who monologue, and it's so like genuinely laugh out loud funny and also really beautiful and strange. I appreciated it a lot, and so now I have to read everything he's ever written. So that's exciting to find somebody whose writing you immediately really vibe with.
And this is your first Don DeLillo.
Yes. Now
What are
I'm
the other
reading
ones? Mao 2,
Mao
right?
2 is the one that
Yeah.
I'm reading right now. Ratner's Star, Libra, which is the Lee Henry
Libra.
Oswald
Right.
one.
Right.
Or no. Yeah, others. He just has such a vast body of work, and they're all weird, which
And
I
you
like.
can watch the Adam Driver ? White Noise
Cosmopolis.
movie. Yeah. They recently did a White Noise
Did they?
movie or show. I think so.
I don't believe you.
I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. It would be a first.
They did Cosmopolis into a... God damn it. It's a Noah Baumbach thing. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
It is Adam
2022.
Driver.
I told you. Comedy
Horrible.
horror
I'm not watching this.
on Netflix. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Why
Because
would they
people
do this?
apparently, the rumor, as I remember it, is people have been trying to adapt. The book is from what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. People have been trying to adapt it forever. And my understanding, and you tell me what you think, is it's like not a thing you should even try to adapt into a movie.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely describing the plot is difficult, and the fact that it's difficult to describe is like kind of part of it.
Yeah. It's a Danny Elfman score.
Oh, man. Anyway, I highly recommend that. If you like J.G. Ballard, you'll probably like
And who
Don
doesn't?
DeLillo. Yeah, we all love Ballard.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm excited to dive more into his oeuvre. What's
Cool.
poppin', Brian?
Well, I think this is a new type of thing for me this week. I'm going to recommend, what's popping for me is a blog.
Whoa.
And the blog is Ask a Manager by Allison Green.
Oh, yes,
and
I am familiar.
I actually have been reading this for a while, on and off. And last week I was, bored on the internet, as so many of us often are. And I was like, it's been a while since I checked in on Ask a Manager. And it's just great. you get to read. It's like an advice column, right? It basically is. So you get all the Schadenfreude of an advice column, but also the responses are like eminently sensible, empathetic, reasonable, useful. I just like it a lot. And I am, I'm sort of a manager. I have a, couple businesses and sometimes need to manage people and personalities. And it's not, I'm not in a traditional office environment except for sex. But usually the advice it offers is sometimes useful for me as a small business owner. Usually not. Yeah. Usually it's like, should I go to HR about, I don't know. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
But I find it's like how you deal with people who have different goals kind of thing in a work environment is a useful thing to know about.
Yeah, I end up reading a lot of those because they get cross-posted to Reddit a lot. And it's at least, better advice than the typical commenters on advice subs. Did I pop Miss Lonely Hearts?
I'm kind of an advice sub in a way.
Oh, God. Did I pop Miss Lonely Hearts?
I think you did, but I'm not 100% sure. That sounds right. Yes. In fact, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I'll bring that up again. Just being about a man who is an advice columnist named Miss Lonely Hearts, who is a miserable fuck who should be giving nobody advice. And it's funny because I recently reread Lolita for the first time in a few years, and having read Miss Lonely Hearts and reading White Noise, I don't want to spoil anything about those three books, but all three of them kind of have similar endings. And I like how different each one's iteration on that type of ending is.
Yeah. Cool.
Some do it better than others.
Great. All right. Well, that's what's popping for me.
That's what's popping. Now it's time for our second and final segment, which is the exact same as it's always been. The name of the segment is Peaches and Lemons, which is 3 parts gratitude exercise, 1 part petty grousing, and the theme song goes right here.
Peaches and Lemons. Peaches and Lemons.
All right. We're starting with lemons. I'll go first.
Okay. Yes, please.
My lemon is, I'll use the umbrella of enshittification, but everything sucks. Doing anything with technology now is a nightmare. Oh, you want to watch a show? You want to listen to music? Do you want to Google advice?
Give
us your email.
Give
us your email. Give us your email. Watch a video. Watch a short form video. Give us your information. We want your information. This is going to take 10 minutes to load. Scan this QR code. Kindle Reading Insights has now become Kindle Reading Challenges, which is achievement-based rather than actually showing you what fucking books you've read this year.
Yep.
So thanks for that, Kindle. Love it. Oh, you want to watch something on Netflix? Well, there are too many screens on your account. You want to search? Our keyboard isn't a QWERTY keyboard, so have fun tapping that out to find a show that, on any streaming service. You actually have to pay extra for this one because it's on a different, because we reinvented cable.
Yep.
It's really making me crotchety, plus my glasses are badly out of date, and I'm realizing that my eyesight has gotten considerably worse, so I can't see shit, and everything's hard to use, and I hate it. What's your lemon?
This is not my lemon, but it does remind me of, did you see the article? Apparently someone was looking into like, what the fuck is going on with Spotify? Basically was like, who the fuck are these artists? Did you see this? And it turns out that Spotify has its own like kind of in-house content studio that it's using to make music to populate its playlists with, so it gets paid when you listen to these playlists.
Wow, that blows.
And it's not in every genre, but it's in like ambient and jazz. Because I would listen to, I would like look up jazz playlists from time to time. I'd be like, who the fuck are these people? Figuring, oh no, I'm just old and out of touch. Turns out that in some specific genres, first of all, they will release the same song under multiple artists' names and titles, for one thing, like pretty much the same song. And also, it's just money that's going to Spotify. They're like fake artists. Isn't that crazy?
I hate it.
I hate it too. Okay, my lemon is, it's a pretty big one. I know we can't, we said we're not going to do big ones here. You came over for Christmas Eve and I forgot the nog.
Wow, I thought you were going to stop midway through that sentence.
I know you even I think on the show I believe your exact words were yum, 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 nog, nog, nog. And I said, I'll get that nog. And then I didn't get the nog. So we were sadly nogless for Christmas Eve. The viscous egg drink that people love so well was not present for our Christmas Eve. And I feel bad about it. And all I can do is apologize and say it wasn't my fault.
Do better.
Be better. Be best.
It's called being a good fucking person, Brian.
Yeah.
Don't you love that tone of a post?
Oh, yeah. Just be decent about this. Yeah, come on. Now, there was I have to say, in terms of Nog, there was a positive development. This isn't a peach, but we did put out that Piss Nog single. So that is available to listen to online. And I believe I checked today and there are 39 listeners.
Wow.
So, I know.
I think that Noggers is pretty poggers.
That's wow. Couldn't have said it worse myself.
Well, we'll get that Nog next year.
Yeah. Always coming after, always chasing that Nog. All right.
Wow.
Peaches.
Peaches. I will go first, as is tradition. Number 1, went to Langer. Well, I didn't go to Langer's. We ordered Langer's.
Nice.
And my father and I ate two massive piles of corned beef and pastrami on that delicious egg bread with some latkes.
Fantastic.
And
Did you get it in the Hanukkah time frame?
I don't think so.
Okay. Was it more than 2 days ago?
No.
Okay.
This was yesterday.
So you
also
just
learned
missed Hanukkah.
that if you put corned beef in the air fryer, all of the little edges become like bacon.
Oh, okay.
Very, very good. Life affirming. I just, eating it in the kitchen, standing up like a caveman. Like God intended.
Yep.
My second peach is that in trying to mount my existing 2 monitors to a monitor arm setup, because neither of them had VESA bracket mounts, I had to do a really janky adapter thing. Anyway, this broke one of my monitors. Not enough to be unusable, but enough to I can't use that as my permanent monitor anymore.
Annoying.
So I went to Best Buy and ended up buying a 32-inch curved gamer monitor.
Hell yeah.
So that's very exciting. Looking at my side monitor, which was just a regular one, having a really big one, I just don't even know what to do with it now. It's very exciting. And my third peach is, broad umbrella of my dad has been here for the holidays, and that's wonderful. But specifically, I got to take him to the Museum of Jurassic Technology.
I was going to ask.
Which I hadn't been to in a very long time, and that he went in totally unspoiled on, and that was a delightful thing to get to witness.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone should be so lucky as to go unspoiled to the MJT.
Yeah, which is why I'm not going to spoil it, because it is such a magical experience. And after going there, I reread Mr. Wilson's Cabinet of Wonder, which is the book about it, and David Wilson, who's the founder of the museum, which really shows just how deep it goes. It's delightful.
I should read
highly
that.
recommend
I've never read it.
You would really, really like it. It's adapted from a series of New Yorker articles, but and I bought a shirt from there. I was going to get
not the one that I have.
Not the one that you have, even though I wanted to get it. It's one of the Space Dog
that's a good one.
Space suits with the God's perfect creatures under it, which is yeah, I gotta have that.
I actually need to replace my MJT shirt is pretty ratty, so I need to get a new one. Yeah.
Well,
Rachel,
that's when a shirt's at its best.
That is true. Actually, yesterday she's like, "You got too many holes in that one." So she in the way that only a partner of 20-ish years can say, she was like, maybe that's an inside shirt now.
It's a great shirt though. They have a good selection. I was having a hard time picking.
They really do. I know.
I should have gotten more shirts because I would happily wear one of those every day.
Yeah.
It's just great. And, the little surprise on the second floor at the end, if someone's not prepared for that, it's so magical.
It's the best.
Yeah. It was a nice overcast day, too, so it gave it an extra, kind
that's
of
what you
dreamy
want.
feel.
Yep.
Yeah. I also didn't know. I learned that, in the second to last room where there are all those sick fucking accordions, David Wilson is an accomplished accordionist,
I had no idea.
which is why those are there. And
Very
apparently
cool.
he used to sit outside and play the accordion.
Fantastic. Love that.
Yeah. So if you're in LA, don't Google it. Just go to the Museum of
Just
Jurassic Technology.
Go.
And then afterwards you can Google it, but
Yeah,
not
and
before.
The Indian restaurant / store, really a deli called India Sweets and Spices. That's
Sweets
right
and Spices, yeah.
next to it. Fantastic as well.
I believe it. All right, those
All
are
right.
my peaches. Brian, what are your peaches?
Well, my peaches are peach number one is I went recently to a different friend's 50th birthday party in the Hudson Valley of New York State, and we had a great time. Just a bunch of middle-aged guys hanging out and playing board games and razzing each other a little bit. And most of these were very close friends, and a couple guys I didn't know quite as well, but had met a few times over the years, and it was fantastic. So this is the year that people my age turn 50, which is a big one. It's nice also, I have to say, although I had nothing to do, this was not a decision I made, to be born in 1975. It's a good, even year, right?
Yeah.
75, 25, get those 75s in, like those 25s, 50s, 75s kind of years. So that's peach number one. Peach number two, this is my favorite thing about this time of year is it's just like random friends coming over a lot. And we were going to do something, you and me were going to record something a couple days ago. And it was like, oh no, I randomly have friends coming over. Got to push it. We had different friends over last night. One year, a couple years ago, on Christmas Eve, we had friends just show up at 5 p.m. because they got locked out of their place. And they're like, hey, we have nowhere to go. Can we come in and hang out? And it was the best. I love it. I love having people over, and we've been able to do that this year, including with on New Year's Day, a few friends who were in from out of town, and just lovely friends I don't get to see much. So that was great.
Delightful.
And my final peach is I am pretty bad at self-care. But we have some travel coming up this week. As I mentioned, we're going to a destination to film some music videos. And our shooting schedule was a little more compressed than I thought. So I actually moved a flight, changed to a different flight to have an additional day at home just because I didn't feel like traveling. And it was only $100. And I'm even for, that's still like a price.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? At my age, I'm willing to pay $100 to have another night at home. And it's like I would have spent that on, or some fraction of that on meals and whatever anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move the flight and get another day with my family. And
That's wonderful.
I have to say, these little self-care victories are not meaningless to me, and I'm trying to be better about that sort of thing. So it was nice to do it. So now I leave on Monday instead of Sunday, and I think that'll be great.
Wow. That's awesome. I think everyone should strive for that. And as someone who's catastrophically terrible at self-care, I shall look to you for inspiration in this coming year.
Thank you. That's if I, through my actions, have brought even a little bit of light and joy and inspiration to the lives of those lesser than myself, I think it all will have been worth it
Wow.
as I
And that's-
glide into old age.
Yes, this elderly man.
Yep.
Well, that's our show for today, folks. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Go easy on yourself. If your brain is like mine, this time of year sucks. So give yourself some grace.
Now, I actually, because we did rerun an episode last week, actually the first time we've ever done that, I think, on the main feed. It occurred to me, that was episode 174. You were still signing off with a certain phrase.
Oh, I know.
And I was like, you know what? I think it might be time to bring it back. It's your call.
I think overusing something cheapens it in a way. And I know that
we're saying the
absence
same thing.
makes the heart grow fonder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
in the interest of that,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say the classic phrase that we all know and love from this show, which is Brian, play Crazy Frog.
Already had it queued up.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Leighton Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. Sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/Leighton Night. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at leightonnight@gmail.com.